Hi, I'm Lisa with Ivy Lane Interiors, and today's project is going to be really fun. 3 times a year over on Instagram, I host a furniture flipping challenge. I just invite fellow furniture refinishers to come and flip a piece with me. And we throw in a little prizes in there just to make it a little more interesting. But I pick a theme, and then we have 2 weeks to complete our piece. At the end of the 2 weeks, I pick my top 3, and then I had people come to my stories to vote for their favorite. So the winner is going to be featured at the end of this video. I'll show you the piece that won. I'll also show you the before and afters of all the people that participated, show you the top 3, and then we'll feature her piece at the end. But it's such a fun project. So I participate in the challenge too. I picked a piece, and I'm gonna walk you through the piece that I did for the challenge. And like I said, at the end, I'll go ahead and feature all the other projects. So this will be a good one. Here we go. It's challenge time. Are you ready? First day. Well, actually, technically it's Monday. It's the 3rd day, but I'm just starting. It's my first day. So furniture flipping challenge starts now. The theme is romance core or coquette. So I'm thinking whimsical, feminine, delicate. I got a good piece for it, but I'm gonna need your help. Help me decide what to do with it. I think it's gonna fit the theme really well, but I could go a lot of different directions. So let me show you what I'm doing. So here's the piece that I've chosen for the challenge. It's a Jacobean style. It's really beautiful, but unfortunately it has quite a bit of damage on it. You can see somebody tried to maybe do some repairs. There's like some putty there. So unfortunately on the sides and on those drawers, just a lot of damage. The top's pretty bad, but I'm really gonna try to save it, strip that down. But like I said, a lot of really pretty details, just not in the best shape. So what do you think? I have some design ideas. You might be mad at me, but I'm gonna paint it. I just think it's gonna look really beautiful painted. It's got a lot of damage on it, and I'm gonna try to highlight some of the beautiful carvings. So I need your help to help me decide what color. So should I go with off-white, blue, soft blue, soft green, or Dead Salmon by Farrow Ball? So I'll put them up on the screen. You can help me decide, but vote and let me know what you think. If you've been here, you know I'm always trying new products. So I love to try different strippers. I'm looking for a little bit safer one. And so I found this one. It's called Smart Strip. And I found it. You can get it on Amazon. I'll have it linked in the descriptions, but you can also pick it up locally. I got mine at Sherwin-Williams. So this is their citrus paint and varnish remover. Smart Strip also has a Smart Strip Pro, and so I haven't tried that one, but I started with this one. It's a jelly substance, so if you have a vertical surface, it's really good for this, but I'm just using it on the top, and I'm going to go ahead and cover it with some plastic wrap, let it do its thing, and I'll come back and scrape it off. I'd like the front legs to match the top, so I'm going to go ahead and sand those down to raw and see if I can treat them the same.
For the stripping, I like to use a carbide scraper in combination with like a putty knife. I go very lightly because carbide scrapers can really gouge up your wood. So I'm hardly putting any pressure on it. So I'm just pulling it back. And this stripper actually worked pretty good. So my method is usually I pull it back as much as I can with a carbide scraper. And then I use some lacquer thinner. If I'm removing a wood finish, I use some lacquer thinner to just kind of clean up that residue. Then I'll come back with some more lacquer thinner in like steel wool, like a fine steel wool or a Scotch-Brite pad or something. A very light abrasive, and I'll try to get the rest of that finish off. I also sometimes be able to use some wire brushes to get into some of the details, and that's kind of my method on how I strip.
Okay, day 2 of the challenge. I have the top of the dresser stripped. It was pretty rough, but I thought, you know, I'm gonna try to at least save the top because I really like wood tops, even when I'm painting out a piece. And so I think I'll be able to save the top. I sanded down the legs yesterday. I think I'm gonna try to save the top or the front leg. So I know I've already gotten a lot of people who are upset I'm painting it, but you know, in person, sometimes it's hard to see on camera. But it's already been through some repairs. They didn't do a very good job. It's just pretty bad on the drawers. And so I'm just not gonna be able to restore it. So I have to also look at what I can get for it in the time and all that jazz. And so the other piece, there's a 2-piece matching set, a Jacobean set. I am trying to restore that to wood, but this one, I'm sorry, it's just gonna look so much better painted out. So I've got to figure out a way to kind of highlight those beautiful carvings, but bear with me. I think it's gonna look really good. So let's keep going.
After I have all the fill done and I've glued up all the veneer that's loose and I've done my scuff sanding, my final step, because I have so many details on this, is I'm going to apply some liquid sandpaper. And that's just going to kind of etch up any of the surfaces that I might have missed with my sandpaper. And it doesn't necessarily replace sandpaper, but it's wonderful for those fine, intricate details, just to make sure that I have really good adhesion when I go to prime and paint. Good morning. It's early. I'm even letting you see me without eyebrows on, but I'm making good progress. I finished the Dixie dresser and the top of my challenge piece is ready to be stained. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna pause on the staining. I like to stain after I paint. So I'm gonna try to prime today and then I will paint probably on Monday. So making progress. So after my first coat of primer, I noticed that one of the drawers was sticking a little bit. Obviously, I've got the paint there too, but I could tell it was scraping. And I forgot a critical step that I usually do when I'm painting a piece out is I like to sand back the top and the sides and the bottom to raw to give myself a little bit extra space because I'm painting that surface. So I don't want my drawers or my doors to stick later on after I've put additional product on them. So you figure you're putting a couple coats of primer, a couple coats of paint, so that's going to build up on those drawers and you don't want them to stick. So I like to kind of sand those down to raw to give me some extra space so that when I go to prime and paint, I don't have any problems with my drawers sticking.
Okay, second coat of primer is on. I had some problems. I watered it down too much and then it started running in some places. So I typically use Ben Shellac primer because it just really covers any kind of bleed throughs. But it is solvent based. So I switched over to, on my second coat, I switched over to their water-based 123 primer, and it's so thick. So I always had to water it down to get it through my gun, but I was in a hurry and watered it too much. And so I'm still looking for the perfect primer. I really love Ben Shellac because it does everything. I just don't like cleaning it up, and it is so smelly and toxic. So I really wanted to try water-based. I did hear of a water-based primer that I want to try. It's called Icro, I think. It's I-C-R-O, and it's like an Italian coating. So it's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be able to block tannins really well and all that kind of stuff that Ben Shellac does. It's supposed to do too. So I'm going to check into that. But for right now, I'm still using Zinger, which I do like. It's just sometimes the ease of use isn't there. So got my paint picked out. Hopefully I'll get the first coat on today. I'll show you in a little bit what it is. It's paint day. I ended up doing another coat of primer this morning after I had those runs yesterday. It just shows you that when you're in a hurry, you don't usually do your best work. So I know that, I just didn't take my own advice. So slow down and you'll do your best work. But I got it all sanded down yesterday, did another coat of primer this morning, got it sanded down, so we are ready for color. Are you ready to see what I chose? Let's go. Okay, loyal story watchers, you want a sneak peek on my challenge piece? Here you go. You know what color I went with? Dead Salmon by Farrow Ball. I've been wanting to use it forever, and it's like a brownish taupey pink. Very subtle, beautiful. I need some input. Okay, I need some input on what color to stain. So the legs and the border of this are the same wood, and this is different. So watch. See how this is like yellow and this is a beautiful brown. So what color should I do? I know I kind of like the raw, but at the same time, I'm going to do a lot of gilding on it. So I don't want it to be like rustic and then gold. So I'm kind of thinking like a mid-tone, like a nutmeg. And then what or not, maybe doing this nutmeg to match this and just seal this and then do, what do you think that's too dark? I could do a tan wash. I feel like I need it to be a little warm. So I'll put up a couple options or message me what you think.
So I decided to go ahead and start with a tan wash. And so I usually for my tan washes, I use Algonquin. It's a kind of a nice beigey color by Fusion Mineral Paint, but honestly, you can use any kind of tan paint you want. Usually the ratio I use is 4:1. So I do 4 parts water to 1 part paint, but a lot of people do 1:1. So you just have to find what works for you. You're simply going to wipe it on and then you just wipe off the excess. Some people don't wipe off the excess. Again, you just kind of find what it is that you want in your method.
I did the tan wash last night and I like it, but I don't like it on the piece. It's just too much the same color. I need some contrast, I need some warmth. So let me show you where we're at. Here is the tan wash. If you just look there, it's beautiful. But when I pull back with the other, I just don't think it has enough depth to it. And I'm gonna be adding gold on it as well. So I just really feel like I need to warm it up a bit, even if it's just a glaze. So I've got a couple options. So in order to warm it up, I'm thinking about layering over either nutmeg or Van Dyke Brown glaze. So you can use either over a paint wash. I did it last night, so I had 12 hours, so I can add the oil-based. And then this is just water-based, so it can go over anytime. But I'm not sure which one to choose. I'll think about it, and we'll try it.
So I decided to go ahead and test both of these products on the back side of the legs. And so I put on the glaze on one side, I put the nutmeg on the other, and then I even had my daughter come out and help me try to figure out which one would be better. So this one is the brown glaze, but on this particular wood, I felt like it kind of pulled a little gray, and then the nutmeg seem to give me a little bit more brown warmth. And so you can see we're trying to figure out which one looks better. And so sometimes I just need a second opinion. But in the end, I decided that the nutmeg was a little bit warmer tone that I was going for. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the nutmeg. And I'm just putting that over the tan wash. And it's going to give me a nice warm color. And I think it'll go really good with the gold accenting that I'm going to do later. Now I'm ready for the fun part. I am using Posh Chalk pigments, and I'm using pale gold and I'm using lemon gold, and I'm just kind of doing a little bit of each of them, and then you mix them with their infuser. And then I found these really great brushes. I found them that somebody else was doing some gilding and they linked them, so I bought them on Amazon. They're linked down in the description if you want to get them, but they're really easy to hold. They have lots of different sizes. It helped me really get into those fine details. So it's like liquid gold is basically what I'm putting on here, but I'm just slowly, steady going around each of these little areas. I'm not trying to completely fill every little spot and be completely perfect. I'm just trying to kind of highlight these areas. If I get out of the lines, you can just use a little bit of mineral spirits and it takes it right off. You don't want to rub too hard because you don't want to remove the paint, but it'll just a little brush and the mineral spirits will take it right off. I'm going to go ahead and use it to refresh the hardware as well. I already tested it and they are not real brass, so I'm going to go ahead and jazz them up a little bit with some of the gilding. I ended up doing 2 coats on them. I'm going to use my finger and just apply some gold wax to the edging on the drawers. Now I'm ready to apply my sealer. I'm using Osmo's hard wax oil. It's really easy to apply. You just simply rub it on and then you wipe off the excess. You can do 2 to 3 coats and it provides a really durable finish and a low luster shine. Okay, let's look back at the before. This was a beautiful dresser. I love all the details. I was sad that it had so much damage on it and it just wasn't in a good enough condition to refinish, but I think it could be really beautiful painted out. So after gluing up all of the loose veneer and filling in all of the missing veneer, and stripping that top and doing a lot of priming and painting and sanding, here is the finished product. What do you think? I think it turned out really good. I really debated on that top and what color to do it with, but I think it provides a really beautiful warm tone, and I think it complements the gold of the gilding. Honestly, I had some gold on some of the other areas. I had to really kind of restrain myself because, you know, gold can look really gaudy really quick. And so I had to kind of pull back, and I actually took some of it off. I did a little bit of highlighting on some of those areas there in the middle on the turnings, you can see, but like in the middle right there at the top, I started to put some gold there and then I took it off. So I just did a very light gilding, and I think it complements it well.
Okay, now that I've shown you my piece, it's time to move on to the challenge pieces. So I'm going to show you all of the before and afters, and then I'm going to show you the feature piece at the end. The Ivy Lane Furniture Flip Challenge Romance Core is done. It's time to pick the top 3, but before we do, let's take a look back at the before and afters. Here's the top 3.
So once the votes were in, Kathy, with What KC Creates, won first place. So we're going to take a look at what she did. She chose an antique dresser and a mirror set. You can see it's lots of little details on the mirror. But she started by, of course, removing all the hardware, giving it a really good clean, and then she started in on the sanding. She's using a drill with an attachment to just get into all of those fine details. I saw on one of her stories, she's using a little pick to get all of those little details out of the crevices. She's using another attachment to, again, go into those details and just really try to get that finish off so that she can go ahead and go on with her new finish. And she decided to use a transfer. This is by Redesigned by Prima. It's a beautiful, elaborate floral. I've never actually done a transfer before, but she said this takes a lot of patience. So there's a lot of, placement, and then you have to cut it so that the drawers can open, and you have to just make sure that it's all lined up correctly. So I think there's a lot of patience involved. I think it's easy-ish, but I think you have to be really precise and careful. So for the finish, it was rather unique. She kind of reversed what I do a lot. So she started with a light gel stain. This is Lily Moon in natural cork. So I thought it was a tan wash, but no, it's a gel stain is what she started with. It's a water-based gel stain. And then she layered on top of that, she went with Amy Howard's antique walnut stain. So that kind of warmed it up, gave it some more depth. And then on top of that, then she did a tan wash. She used Cappuccino by Heirloom Paint. And so a really beautiful technique. So she started with the light gel stain, then went darker, and then did her tan wash over that. And I think it was a really beautiful finish. It was hard to even see in the pictures, but she actually used gold leaf on some of these beautiful carvings. Just such a lovely touch. I thought her staging was beautiful. It really lended itself to that romance core theme that we were going for. So it's a very romantic piece, but I also think it leans into the popularity of wood right now. Wood is very popular. It is a rustic piece, but then she's got that little bit of glam with that gold on it. So such a beautiful piece. I've added Kathy's information down in the description box, so feel free to check out her work. But thanks so much for watching.